Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with a Millennial. I'm the Millennial Javeda Bay, and this is my bed, and it is still Kinktober. So we're still talking about all things kink and BDSM, and today I want to talk about how kink and BDSM is a community, and how to go about finding that community. So let's get into it. Javed, what do you mean by it's a community? Well, I mean it's a community because folks that engage in kink and BDSM obviously get to know other people that engage in it because you usually have play partners. So that's one way that's a community. Also, it's a community because it's not the normalized like master narrative in terms of sexuality. Like obviously a lot of people partake in kink and BDSM, but it is not the common like, oh, we're talking about sex. I inherently think kink and BDSM. That is not what it is because of the society we live in, and it's very much like removed, and there are still some folks that experience like having stigma and shame around engaging in kink and BDSM because of the way people in their lives or in their communities talk about it. So kink and BDSM is a community that people engage in, and that community is really important because it can feel very isolating when you learn like, oh my gosh, I like have this kink that I really love, and none of my like immediate friends really like understand it, and they kind of kink shame me about it. Having a kink and BDSM community is important because like-minded individuals. Also because folks within the kink and BDSM community share a lot of values, especially around how to engage in kink and BDSM. At least folks that are participating well do. And by that, I mean that there are some core tenets around kink and BDSM. Safety, trust, consent, respect, all that jazz. And folks who believe in those things very much adhere to that while practicing kink and BDSM. And very much adhere to that while practicing kink and BDSM, while also instilling that in the people that they're playing with and when they're educating newcomers and things of that nature. And so it's really important to recognize that aspect of the kink and BDSM community because it makes it a lot easier to recognize like, oh, these are actually people that I would want to be in community with, or I would want to play with, or like they practice kink the way I practice kink in comparison to folks who just disregard all those things and are kind of predatory and harmful. And so with that, understanding like that there are some values and what it means to be a part of the kink community, like how can you go about finding them? Like how do you go and find people that share your kinks or that have an interest in the activities that you do and just like help normalize and make you not feel like an outsider? Few different ways. First one being we are in the age of the internet. It is a blessing and a curse. In this regard, it is a blessing. You can find so many people that share interest in terms of kinks and BDSM and fetishes through the use of the internet. So there's obviously quite a few different websites that you can use. I always recommend FetLife, which is essentially like Facebook, but for kinks and fetishes and BDSM. And it's a free website that you can create a profile on, meet other people in your area, but also like meet people all over the world, learn more about different kinks, be in different like groups that focus on specific kinks and things of that nature. So if you were someone that's more like, I'm cool being in my house, but I just wish I had more people to talk to, FetLife is a great place to start. Also, if you're looking for play partners, it also works well for that. And you are someone that's like, I need a little bit more like IRL in-person community. Starting at your local sex shops is always a good place to go because they generally have an idea of like things that are going on, like event-wise, can offer some education, point you in the right direction. They also probably offer workshops. And if you're like, how do I find people that like what I like? Going to a workshop is a great way to do it. If your local sex shop is having a workshop on rope bondage and shibari, go to that, see who else is there, and be like, hey, I'm new to the area and I was looking to make some friends, so I decided to come to this workshop. So happy to meet other people. Take advantage of the resources that are readily available to you. And in that regard, also going to things like munches, which if you don't know, a munch is when kinksters, BDSM folks gather in vanilla spaces to just like talk and get to know each other without any play. So munches are like super vanilla in the sense that like nothing's gonna happen. You're just gonna go and talk to people. But they're kinky people. So if you're like definitely wanting to like ease into things in terms of building community a little bit more, you don't want to like outright get involved in play or anything with folks, munches are a great way to go. Or if you're just like really starting out and want to learn more and like become more educated around different kink and BDSM activities, munches again are a great place to go, because a lot of them are like kink specific and fetish specific and things of that nature. So if you have something super particular, you can go there and meet people. And also, obviously, like if you are someone that is interested in playing and actively being a part of the community, going to events at like local sex clubs or dungeons is also another way to build community. So do your research. That usually really, there's not too many of them, and they're more so closer to major metropolitan cities. So if you don't live in a major metropolitan city, I highly recommend using FetLife and online platforms as a way to build community. And if you're like, I don't need people to play with, I just want people to talk to, social media, I will always like love social media for what it does in terms of like allowing people to connect. So go and find those people on social media. Look up those hashtags. You can look up Kinktober, hashtag kink, hashtag BDSM, hashtag kink community, hashtag BDSM community. So many different things to find people that are a part of the community talking about it and make friends and connections that way. So don't be afraid to use social media. There are folks that are out here being like, yup, that's me. Look at me just doing some rope bondage on TikTok and things of that nature. So many different options. So don't be afraid. Just like search some stuff up, but maybe do it at home. Don't like start searching things related to kink and BDSM on your work computer, because you might get in trouble. So just like keep that in mind when you are trying to find community. But don't be afraid to use the internet for it. That's what it's there for. But yeah, community is extremely important, especially if you feel isolated and alone in your kinks and BDSM fetishes. Finding other people that are similar or share those interests with you is super, super, super important. But no, if you have any interest in kinks and fetishes and BDSM activities, you're not alone. There's so many people out there, like literally so many. So just go and, venture out. Try and connect with them. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel because, hello, content galore. Definitely make sure you're following me on all the social media platforms because I post different content on all of them, but they all relate to the same topic of the month. So really good stuff. And definitely make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter because in case I were to get booted from social media platforms for talking about the things that I talk about, that's where you can find me, there and on my website. So definitely bookmark themillennialsexpert.com and make sure you come back next week because I'm having an all new episode because it's still Kinktober and we're going strong. But yeah, until next time, I'm gonna see you later. Deuces.